Hello everyone, my name is Jessica Garcia. Today we're going to continue with our Instagram Lives for our undergraduate research programs. And our interview today is going to be with MMUF. And let me pull up a picture really fast. I did want to remind you guys that the undergraduate research panel is going to be tomorrow at 5 o'clock p.m. And as you can see, all of these programs are going to be participating and talking about their experience with research. A student is going to be coming in from all of the corresponding programs and speaking about their. And then we'll just. There we go.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Doing good. You able to hear me all right?
I'm doing all right. Let's go ahead and get started with your introduction of your full name, year and major, and your research program affiliation.
Sounds good. My name's Fernando Mendez. I'm a fourth year history major here at Long Beach. And my research program affiliation is I'm a Mellon Fellow with the Mellon Mays Undergraduate Fellowship, commonly you just see the acronym MMUF. I've actually had a couple people ask me, like, what does that mean? I have to remember it because it's like a funny looking acronym because there's no vowels on it, so you got to explain. Actually, there's a U, never mind. But yeah.
Thank you. All right. So our first question is, how did you learn about research, or how did you become interested in research?
So learning about research, I think it was, I want to say spring of my sophomore year here at Long Beach. I just been, you're in your classes, and then sometimes you'll have guest speakers come in and talk about different kinds of opportunities. And depending on how they frame it, sometimes you'll immediately write yourself off thinking, I'm not qualified enough for that, or I don't have the requirements for that. I remember going into the like towards the end of my sophomore year, I remember looking at a lot of different opportunities, either for internship or for some kind of like scholarship, and I wouldn't meet a lot of the requirements either because of my GPA was just below the cutoff, or I wasn't taking the proper classes. I felt like I didn't have the right experience for whatever reason. But looking into the MMUF project, the program, I was actually introduced to it through one of my classes. One of our professors, Dr. Abigail Rosas, she was giving a brief presentation about it towards the end of her class, and it kind of struck interest because she made it clear that it was meant for a wide variety of students. It didn't matter what subject you were doing. There was like a list of, I think, 10, 15 different subjects that were approved by the Mellon Mays Foundation for you to pursue studies. So as long as you fell within one of these wide subjects, it was just a matter of like, I think most of it was outside of STEM too, which was refreshing because I always would look at programs and it was very STEM oriented. So then I felt kind of discouraged and I would stop looking, or I just felt like it was hard to find a non-STEM program. So just, they're definitely out there. McNair is one of them that combines the two, if I'm not correct, right? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, right? They have STEM and non-STEM as well as Sally Casanova as well, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Now, can you talk about the steps that you took to find your faculty mentor?
Finding my faculty mentor was actually pretty easy for me, although I feel like I had a much easier experience than other students. I know, like, the other people in my cohort, they had a tougher experience. So, and I had actually a tougher experience finding a mentor in a different program. So generally, I guess the main thing is you want to find somebody that has similar research interests. And even then, you want to try to, I guess, work with this person and ensure that you like have the same vision for your project. For me, I work with Dr. Abigail Rosens, and luckily it's super easy. Um, just because we like everything we talk about, we're on the same page. I feel like there's hardly any disconnect when we're talking. My research focuses on Latino businesses in LA County and Southwest United States. So I think part of it is just because when I speak to her, I feel like we come from similar backgrounds. Therefore, it's just like there's that connection where I feel like we always know what we're talking about. And in a similar sense, when you look out for a mentor, you should definitely try to find somebody, probably like a past instructor or somebody that you felt like you had that connection with in some kind of way, that can point you in the right places, whether you need sources or help finishing projects, or just somebody who's also been through that process, because then you can talk about your ideas freely, and then they can help you put like that academic lens on it. So that way, like, it just feels like you're just being creative, and then you kind of get it down to like the requirements and the formatting for a project or a paper or a presentation or whatever you're doing. Yeah, so it was pretty easy. I actually just talked to Dr. Rosas in person in class back when we could do that. And then pandemic hit a couple weeks after. We just emailed back and forth, and she just became my mentor after that. Like, I think there was some paperwork done there.
That's almost unheard of, it being like that, like easy, like how you said
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Usually people have to send like so many cold emails and then they don't even reply to that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
awesome that it worked out for you. So can you tell me about your current or past research projects? Was it independent research, or did you join an existing research project with your faculty mentor?
So mine was independent research project. My current research project with Mel and Mays is looking into past, present, and future Latino-owned businesses in the LA area. And forming that idea, I took some inspiration from my mentor, Dr. Rosas's previous work, but none of it was like joining onto existing projects or existing ideas. But I did get a lot of inspiration from that, and I feel like that's just another thing that kind of like it helps us talk about it easier. Um, and then yeah, I think that's the only question, right? Yeah, so it was independent research. I had to form the question. That was a fun experience. You know, you edited a lot. The first few questions are not going to be the ones that you roll with, so it's just like look forward to editing a lot.
What has been your favorite part of doing research?
Favorite part of doing research has been the early writing drafts, just because I feel like it's so easy to, well, at least personally for me, I love just like writing, getting the thoughts on paper. Um, the writing part's the best in my opinion, and then like the least exciting part for me is the editing, because then you just have to look at like all the mistakes you made when you didn't feel like you made any mistakes, but it's all part of it, because then just it becomes better afterwards. So for me, the writing aspects, I like writing. I don't like editing, so it's kind of like a 50-50, because you're doing this and then you're gonna have to like reflect on your own. I hate reading my writing, but I like writing it.
I feel you on that.
Yeah.
Have you been able to present your research at a conference, and if so, how was that experience?
Not in the stage that I wanted yet. My first year in MMUF, we have the fall Western Regional Conference. I think it's around like early first week of November. Um, and in that stage, I had only been working on my project for like 2-3 months, compared to the cohort a year ahead of me. They had been a year, maybe even a year and a half, or like even longer, like deep into their project. So they had like results, they had all their methodology to talk about, whereas me, I was just designing it. So I was only able to present that design aspect. But even that, like, it gave me confidence to I can present it now at a later stage, and I kind of know what I'm doing because I've halfway done it before.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. And now that you have done research, has the research experience influenced what careers you are considering now?
I say definitely. It's more or less about the same since I got into it, and through doing it, I feel like there hasn't been much change. Bottom line, I just want to teach. That's the main thing I want to do. And, regardless of how I do it, where I do it, or exactly what I'm teaching, as long that's the main thing driving me. That's the main appeal for me, being able to teach um, just whatever I'm researching. So it's like putting in the time and then being able to present it in a way that people can adapt, and like, you could present over and over through a class or curriculum.
And now, what motivates you to do research?
Definitely when I just get curious and I try to find answers and I don't find the answers I want. Like they're not specific enough. That bothers me. Because I like just Googling things and then, if like I'll get like a general answer and be like, okay, I kind of assume that. And then I want to go deeper in why or like, how did they look at this study? Like I like looking at the details of like different articles on topics I'm interested in. And, obviously it was a lot of hard work and I'm not discrediting anybody, but it's just like, oh man, I wish they did this. I wish they took this approach or added these variables. And it's just like, okay, well, I could do that. No one's stopping me from doing it. I could do something like that. And it's just getting into that mindset that you can do that too.
That's a great mindset to have. I've never thought about it like that. What advice do you have for someone that is considering research but is unsure?
Definitely give it a shot. It's just it's one of those things that, if you're unsure, it's better to give like a nice, solid, honest effort. And then you either know some people, they click right away. This is for me. I love doing this. I love the hard parts and the easy parts and like the highs and lows of research. And other people, they do it and it's just like, it's not for me. And like, that's like with every lot, with a lot of things. So you got to try it out. You'll find parts that you like and you'll find reasons to keep going. And if you don't, then, there's other things also, it's not like a life or death situation. So I say definitely give it a shot. And main thing, find a topic you're interested in because it makes it that much easier. Don't research something that you don't care about. You're going to lose interest right away.
Is there anything else that we left out that would be important for students to know about research and the impact it has had on you?
I would say research gets really kind of weird the longer you do it, just because people have different like work modes. For me personally, like I rock in waves, so it's I'll ride a high wave of like I'm getting a lot of work done, things are easy for me, I'm writing effortlessly, and then I hit a wall and I don't want to do work as much as I did yesterday or the week before. So just kind of like forcing yourself to keep working at least a little bit when you don't want to, and then when you're really really in the mood, take advantage of that as much as you can. But that's just because like a lot of research is kind of you're at your own pace, you're really like guiding, unless you're on like a strict deadline for like class or something. But if it's just like independent research, a lot of times you're the one dictating the pace, you're the one deciding how much work you're going to put in. So it's just kind of trying to fit it to your personal work style is the most important thing, my opinion.
That is well said. Well, thank you so much for your time here. We appreciated you allowing us to interview and for you to share your experience. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, just, thank you for this opportunity. I hope anyone that heard this got something out of it. That's always the goal. And thank you for this chance. And I've actually never done IG Live, so this went pretty smooth. I was kind of worried I would mess it up.
No, you did great.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, thank you. Have a good one.
Thank you too.
Okay. Thank you so much for everybody listening to our interview. This was our last and final program spotlight. I did want to remind you guys of the undergraduate research panel that is happening tomorrow at 5 o'clock with all of the programs listed below. And if you are interested or a student interested in joining research, this is a great opportunity for you to learn more about all of the programs and more like of an informational session. So if you're interested, please feel free to join. Have a